we'll probably see a rally in Q1, and bro, take a profit because Q2, Q3, Q4 will be ugly. If you think this Q4 was ugly,
stablecoins are gonna continue to do really well. Obviously, if you have a market where people feel uncomfortable trading up or down, they're gonna leave their stuff in stablecoin. And in stables, we potentially could see things like staking rewards increasing. We could see things like lending and borrowing rates based on stables increasing. So in my mind, that's safe money.
Because I'm actually surprised you're talking about Solana. I mean, Solana's got some fair amount of fodder run right now, but I want to highlight a bigger chain that doesn't even belong in top 10. I reckon it doesn't even belong to top 20. And that chain is everybody's favorite chain. All these influencers, they love this chain. And Harris loves this chain too. It's called... Whoa.
Don't drag my name into disrepute, you know.
The content presented in this podcast is intended for informational and educational purposes only. It should not be considered as financial advice, and listeners are encouraged to conduct their own research or consult with a qualified professional before making any investment decisions.
Crypto flip.
Welcome back to the Crypto Flip podcast. I'm your host, Harris King, and I'm joined once again with my co-hosts, Ricardo and Deji. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube and Hype. And if you're listening on audio platforms, don't forget to leave a review because that really helps us create new videos. So let's get straight into it. We are going to be looking at 2026, what our predictions are, and what we think the future holds for some of the most popular chains in crypto. We'll also be looking at some of the new narratives that you may want to explore, some of the ones you may want to avoid, and things that other people aren't actually looking at. But first, let's take a look into the future in 2026. I want to put it to both of you. I was having a quick look at the current top 10, and if we do a quick recap, we can see that we obviously have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, XRP, USDC, Solana at number 7, Tron, Lido, Staked Ether, Dogecoin, and those are the top 10. So, do you see any of those falling out of the top 10? Maybe Solana, maybe Doge, something else? What do you guys think?
I don't understand how Doge is still in the top 10. But as I keep saying, and as we keep saying, memes will always surprise you. So Doge is still here, which is crazy. But I mean, looking at the entire top 10, I think the one that really surprised me the most is Tron. Tron has had a mad year, and they've basically been riding every wave that they could. And I mean, it worked out for them, and now they're in quite a strong position. Can I see Tron staying in top 10 for the next year? Probably not. Something that went crazy over the year was BNB. BNB set like, I don't know how many all-time highs this year. Like, it just kept climbing and climbing. If I was to check the charts for where BNB started, it must have started on something like 700 or something similar. And right now it's at 849, but I think it topped out at something like 1,300 throughout the course of the year, which is, 1,300, which is insane. It started the year like 700, 693. I can see that staying in the top 10, and I'll be... Bro, I just don't understand how Binance keep doing so well, but I feel like there's such little hype in Western world around Binance. Like, you never hear, or you don't really hear influencers online chatting much about Binance. You don't really hear companies having crazy deals with Binance, but they're just killing it, bro. Like, they've killed it consistently. Like, now BNB is worth more than XRP, and they've been dancing between each other for like the last couple months. But realistically, hold tight the XRP army, but yeah, you man are washed. Bro, Solana's a meme coin generator and a massive rug. We were just chatting about how Solana Mobile is gonna disable support for their old device, the Saga, and it's only a matter of time before they do it for the Seeker, which basically to me is just a rug. That's a big rug. We all know Solana is the home of rugs. They've had bare rugs over the year.
Like, hold on a second. Is it actually a rug if you pay one bag for the phone and you get 25 back or 10 back?
Who got 5 back?
10.
Who's got 10 back? Who got 10
in there?
Who got 10 back?
In there,
Who's got 10 back? Who
yeah,
got 10 back?
from Bonk and all of that.
You think everyone got 10,000 Solana worth of airdrop?
A lot of people, and also the device itself was worth about 6-7.
All right. Well, I mean, if people were getting their P's back, then I don't think it's Bro, how can you create a product and then after 2 years say that product is no longer being supported by us? 2 years, especially in a landscape. All right, let me tell you where this pisses me off the most. Yeah, it's in a landscape where it's mobile, bro. Like, you have Android devices, you have iOS devices, and they're pretty much dominating the entire industry. You have Apple, which has a mad market share, and then you have breakdown Android devices, Samsung, Huawei, OneTrust, blah blah blah, all of them. Like, Solana's ecosystem for Solana Mobile was always that their whole like premise was that we're gonna break up that monopoly of like Android, iOS, and Apple and Samsung and all these other companies that are dominating. So we're gonna create our own marketplace. We're gonna have our own app store, blah 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 blah. They're called the DApp store. Bro, like, if that was your sell the entire time, how can you then flip the script and say, now we're not gonna support a device that's only 2 years old, bro? It's a slow rug. Hold tight, everyone that made money on their Seeker. I haven't, not really. Hold tight, everyone that made money on their Saga. Good on you, man. You probably bought a Seeker and now you're break even. But yeah, I don't know. That's just my opinion. So yeah, I think 2026 is in terms of top 10. I would hope Solana drops out, because yeah, I just don't see the use of the coin much beyond memes.
I'm actually surprised you're talking about Solana. I mean, Solana's got some fair amount of fodder running right now, but I want to highlight a bigger chain that doesn't even belong in top 10. I reckon it doesn't even belong to top 20. And that chain is everybody's favorite chain. All these influencers, they love this chain. And Harris loves this chain too. It's called Cardano, ADA. Whoa.
Don't drag my name into disrepute, you know. I am not involved in anything to do with Cardano. That's not
I swear Charles wired this on money to show Cardano. I swear he wired this on BTC and some Cardano ads.
No, we've been having a lot of conversations with brands behind the scenes. Cardano is not one of them.
Well, all I know is, a lot of these, not my favorite YouTube influencers, but man, some of the OG influencers, they love Cardano, and some of them, like Benjamin Cohen, he doesn't really mess with Cardano, but he would trade anything that moves, anything that will generate results. But I'm quite surprised. Obviously, right now it's the precipice of dropping out of top 10, and not only is it because of the old brother pullback of crypto, because obviously BTC is ranging and it keeps getting rejected around that 90k, 91k range, 92k range, then all coins are just not doing well. Which makes me look bad on my Santa Rally. I mean, that Santa Rally is a myth right now. I can't, like, it's 23rd. Oh, I think it could happen. Pre-Christmas or post-Christmas. My God. Well, I hope no one sold their house. Obviously, anything we say on this channel it's never financial advice. It's just pure speculation. And obviously, do your research. Don't just hype in and say, oh, that person made me do that. But I think Cardano is in for rough 2026. And here's my reason why. In this bit, and I don't want to sound like a broken record that keeps going back to the same well, but I'm going to keep going back to it. I honestly think meme coin being so extractionary this run has really taken our eyes off some of the old chain that might have been solid the previous cycle. I think Cardano, I remember Cardano used to be like trading around Trump prices, like 0.02, 0.01, and last cycle it just blew up. People were saying Cardano was the next big thing, the next best chain. And this cycle, even though we have Charles teasing, working with lobbying with the top lobbyists in crypto, trying to obviously ensure that crypto is here for long run. We appreciate that, Charles. But I have to say, you need to pay more attention to your own chain, because there's nothing unique that you can say Cardano does well. It's not fast. It's not developer friendly. It's not even, Rick, you're a developer. Do you know the language that that the Cardano supports? Like, I don't even know.
Move or something.
Oh, okay. Move is not so bad. I'm not gonna diss Move because I love Rust. But Move is not so bad. But I just
it's Haskell. Haskell, ignore me.
Yeah. That's why. A lot of the OGs that are the coding in Ashko, they got kids, bro. They're probably in their early 50s, bruv. Like, these men are going to bed at 9 p.m. They're just not about trying to do this late night thing, hacking and bringing activity on check. Because they're just not like, we poo-poo Solana doing a slow rug, not allowing meme coin to kind of fester, but say what you would or not, he brought activity on chain. He brought them to prominence. He brought Solana to top 3 metrics, top 5 metrics. Cardano is only living off his name. Cardano can salvage himself if they just turn things around, because chains are only around because people care about it, developers care about it, they're willing to work on it for free, even if they're not making money. A perfect example is Ethereum and BTC. You know what I mean? BTC developers and they're minting money. I give you that, but people will willingly work on BTC because they know this is a chain that will always be around because it's the number one de facto store of value. Same with Ethereum. But I can't say the same for Cardano. I just can't.
Yeah, I think that the one crypto that's in danger of not only falling out of the top 10, but falling into somewhat irrelevance or into Dino coin status, as we like to say, is Solana. And there's a few fundamental reasons.
Whoa. Wait, Rick, you didn't say Solana as well? You said Solana as well, right?
Yeah, you did.
Oh,
yeah, I said Solana and Tron, yeah.
Oh my God.
And the reason... Yeah, I don't think Doge is going anywhere. But I think the reason why Solana is in danger, unless some fundamentals change, is one, you have the inflation. Obviously, they sold a lot to VCs. They're going to be unloading their bags. Unlocks are coming, yada, yada, yada. So people are going to want to offload, especially as, they may have been buying at lows for $5, $8 when, it was tanking in the last bear market. The second reason why is, obviously, we can see the on-chain activity was really low. A lot of that has been driven by meme coins. A lot of other things haven't really popped off, like Deepin and other things that have a lot of promise and would have been beneficial if there was some more fundamentals on the platform, but it hasn't really come to fruition. So, yeah, I don't see meme coins being the narrative that's going to be around in 2026, not in the same way. Will they still exist? Of course, because once you've opened Pandora's box, you can't close it again. We had meme coins before. Will it exist in the same way where, you have all these degens and, either pump funds? I don't think it'll be there in the same form that we have it now. I think you just have a few big, like, cult-like meme coin communities, a bit like prior to the pump fund era. So, yeah, with that, what does that mean? It means less on-chain activity for meme coins, and that directly impacts on Solana, which inevitably means that there's a lower market cap. And, yeah, it'll be cascading down the charts. I actually think that in the next cycle, because we'll come on to what 2026 brings overall in terms of will it be a bear market, bull market, and we'll come on to that shortly. But if 2026 is indeed the beginning of a bear market, I actually think that Solana will be this year's or this cycle's Polygon. So obviously Matic became Polygon, became Pol, and is currently 88th in the charts. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it slips quite dramatically, because it's fast, yes, but it's not as reliable, and there's a lot of different problems with it. But with that being said, I want to move on to the next thing, which is 2026 as a whole. What are we expecting? Are we expecting because the 4-year cycle is coming towards an end. We haven't had the blow off top that we've been promised, as we have every cycle. We are currently waiting for that. That could still potentially happen in spring, maybe February, maybe March, or it can have a lengthening cycle that happens later on, or we simply don't get it and we go straight into a bear market, or we just don't have the 4-year cycle and then we just have sort of a market where things are on and off depending on macro and, institutions. So what do you guys make of that? Do you think we're going to have, let's talk about the cycles, and then do you think we're going to go into a bear market?
I see 2026 as a bear market for crypto. I think, I don't know, bro. I've been in this game long enough to know that whatever I think doesn't matter. But also, whenever you have a deep gut feeling about like a large move, I'm not talking about like thinking, oh, is Bitcoin going to go up today or tomorrow? Like, is it already going to go down? I mean, like shifts in the market. That is a lot easier to feel as someone that's been in the market, but also see based on historical patterns that have happened. So my base case is that there's going to be deep consolidation next year, and we're going to see a bear market style year. So we're going to see a year similar to your 2014s, your 2018s, your 2022s, sliding downwards and not really getting any new higher highs. I'm expecting lower highs. I'm expecting weaker breath and like just bare chop in the market, bro, to be honest. I can't see like a clean uptrend coming right here, right now. I just can't, bro. I just can't. I'm expecting mad drawdowns. I'm expecting like we're gonna probably enter a point where even though we have the ETFs and the ETFs are like holding some of the strongest assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum up, I just can't imagine that this euphoric stage that we've been in for a lot of this year will carry on into next year. Like right now, Bitcoin's at 87, which is like, when you really pre it, bro, 87 is 30K off where it was a couple weeks ago, like 6-7 weeks ago. 30K. The percentage is probably like 40%. No, not 40%. Probably 30-something%, something like that. That's a big downward move, and we're in December, and that's just typical for years that start as a bear market. Like when you look at the chart and you think Bitcoin shot through, it shot through every one of the big milestones. Like it shot through 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, like barely any pullback. Like it wasn't ranging around in the 60 to 80 phase for very long. Bro, it's gonna go back to those phases. Like it's gonna spend time in those price ranges, and that's perfectly fine. But yeah, that's how I'm seeing the market. I think stablecoins are gonna continue to do really well. Obviously, if you have a market where people feel uncomfortable trading up or down, they're gonna leave their stuff in stablecoin, and in stables, we potentially could see things like staking rewards increasing. We could see things like lending and borrowing rates based on stables are increasing. So in my mind, that's safe money, because you're not in a coin which is volatile and can go up and down. You're in a stable and you're staking that stable and getting your 10, 12, I think I even saw 20% a couple weeks ago on a stable coin, which is better than nothing, because realistically, is Bitcoin going to go 20% up from here next year? Probably not. I reckon Bitcoin's going to probably hit like its lowest point throughout this year. And yeah, my advice to anyone out there that's looking at the market thinking, should I get in? Let this year play out. But you should be buying throughout the course of this year, bro. Bitcoin is not really high price. Ethereum is not at a really high price. Anything in the top 10, even though the ones that we say probably will drop out, they're not at a crazy price right now. This is kind of near the level that you should be accumulating. Like accumulating now, what's starting to accumulate now is not a bad idea, because I can't see it happen next year, but there will be, or the year after, but there will be another bear market, bro. Like, wait, the market will go back up.
Just sorry to cut you off. But what's the point of buying now if we're gonna have a massive drawdown next year? You only buy if it's expecting another rally.
Well, what I'm saying is DCA though. I'm saying if you have, I don't know, if you have $1,000 to spend on crypto over the next 12 months, buying £100 worth today is cool. Buying £100 worth January, February, March, all the way, like your average buy price will just go down.
Long term.
So I'm not saying like shot your $1,000 in now. Like I'm saying ease your way in.
You're thinking long term.
I'm thinking long term.
Gotcha.
We're probably gonna jump into a good accumulation phase. I think all these stuff that the exchanges are doing, the stuff that we talk about with Coinbase, the poly markets, the going into trading stocks and shares. Yeah, I can't see those making any benefit to crypto, but that's me anyway. Yeah, and that's just me going on again on my post-halving. Like 2 years after post-halving, this is normally how the market behaves, and I'm just following that trend.
Well, you anticipate is not far from what I'm anticipating as well. I might be dying on this take mountain by myself, but I'll go down my take. Everything is oversold, man. Everything is oversold. I was just doing some quick calculation, right? We had that recent drawdown, and then we had a rally, then we corrected again. Just the most recent correction, right? Solana is down 40%, 45%. Yeah? That's one of the top major chains, yeah? And BTC is only down most since this previous drawdown, 40%, this most recent drawdown, another 30%. That is consistent to what we see in the previous cycle, where like when you try to see multiple drawdowns of 30%, it's not usually a good sign that, oh, the biggest altcoin is coming, like, yo, strap in. Like I'm seeing online, like you see a lot of these influencers, like, oh man, like the BTC is going to the moon. Altcoin season, the biggest altcoin season is the beginning. Get ready. I think what we're gonna have is, yes, I still believe in a 4-year cycle, but because everything oversold, I don't think we capitulate on everything oversold. I think there's another DCB, dead cow bounce, or rally that will make people think, yes, we're back up. I'm not talking about going back to the most recent high. So talking about Solana going back to 250, to 240 something. Talking about BTC coming back that range of, let's say, 108. To really be like, that will make people think, yes, we're here. Like, rally's here, and then the rally's not here, because this is very consistent to what we've seen. I'm not disappointed in these gains that we've seen. I mean, we're talking about, okay, if you've been bear market investing like we've been, yeah, buying at 15K, 30K, all the way to when you're like, oh, cool, I'm good, then you've seen the decent gain. But if you obviously waiting for confirmation, and you only bought a 60K range once you got that confirmation that, okay, we're going to the moon, or we're going to the next stop, that's only a 2x gain. I can see why people are thinking that this rally is not over, why they think there's another big move. But I think this big move that's going to happen, majority of it is going to be alt season, because I just don't see it. I don't see it. And you dropped a little nugget that really made me kind of have me just rethinking my thesis, because you said what's really holding a lot of these big major tokens up right now is the ETF inflows. And you are spot on. Because why? Retail's not holding it up. It's literally institutional buy that's holding it up. Solana, XRP, BTC. As much as the XRP army, they do their thing. Most of them are cab drivers, fam. I'm sorry, fam. Like, I mean, like, most of them are cab drivers. Most of them are YouTubers. Like, where you get the voice from?
Where do you think we would be right now if we didn't have the ETFs?
Oh, I think it will be much uglier. And people will say, actually, now it'll be much easier, blah, blah, blah. I don't think so. I think these drawdowns will be more massive, because a lot of these people that basically, like, Manos' strategy, because he's always bad, like, he's literally, the ethos of his company is to buy BTC and DCA, literally. So I will put him to the side. But if you don't have these additional money coming in, I think the charts will be much uglier. I think we'll we'll be a lot closer to 73K, which is a very strong support, which I see a lot of whales stepping in and buying and waiting to see what rally comes next. So I don't think we're going to get that. And if you do get that, with all this additional buying, that says a lot. That means there's a buy side exhaustion that's happening. But the point I'm trying to make it is, yeah, I don't know if you noticed this, right? Check your timeline. When have you heard the last person say BTC going to 200K? When have you heard BTC going to 250K? That take is dead. The take right now is, oh, please, BTC rally so we can get altcoin season, rally to back to all-time high. You know what I mean? Because that's literally what people are praying for. You know what I mean?
Rally so I can break even.
Literally, rally so I can take out some money and go buy some Christmas shopping. That's literally what's happening.
Crazy.
So I think it's a situation where, like, only because if we were literally like, if we were swimming in green right now, and I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna be cautious, I'm gonna take some profit. But because everything's oversold, that's why I feel like you usually don't get another capitulation during an oversold like asset activity. Like, you just don't. You get a relief. Like, even it could be a 10% release, could be a 20% release, could be 50%. We could never speculate. But I think you get a quick relief. Then I think 2026 bear market drawdown happens. So that's what I'm predicting for 2026. I see we'll probably see a rally in Q1, and bro, take a profit because Q2, Q3, Q4 will be ugly. If you think this if you think this Q4 is ugly, come back next year. Next year, BTC price, I'm predicting it to be 50K this time next year or less.
Yeah, I think that, well, I've been saying for a while that I believe that in December we'll be ranging, and that's currently what's happening. And so it doesn't really surprise me. What I think we need more information on is what happens in January and potentially the early February. Because in that 6 weeks, if we're not looking strong, I think it could get ugly faster than, we could anticipate. Overall, I expect us to go into a bear market in 2026. I've been a firm believer in the 4-year market. I think all this nonsense about no 4-year cycle because of the institutional money that's come in is just utter garbage. And the only thing I would say as a caveat to that is that, we may go into a lengthening cycle where it's a bit longer, maybe 6 months longer, maybe 4 months, who knows? But I think we still have the cycles as we've always known them. And that presents opportunities. When the bear market does come around, and it will, are you going to stay or are you going to go? If you're just a tourist and you're here for a bit and then you leave, when the development happens, when the new narratives come around and you're not here until, things have already peaked, then it may be too late. You may miss out on, life-changing gains potentially, because even in a bear market, there's still opportunity. It doesn't mean that when a bear market's here, there's nothing and you just go away and come back when there's a bull market. So I think there could be that rally that Deji said, but notwithstanding that, I think that you just have to be prepared for things to get much uglier in 2026. So if we do have that rally, take some profits, make sure that, you're happy with the gains that you've made, or, you've broken even, or whatever the case is, because the 200s, the 250s, I think those predictions are now out the window. Can it go to Can it go to 150 and reach an all-time high? Potentially, I'm not kind of discounting that, but those mega targets that everyone was saying when things were super bullish, I just don't see the enthusiasm from retail or even institutions right now. It's not looking great. But with that note, we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.